hello and welcome to the seventh episode of Island Voices. This is our series where we highlight challenges and opportunities for renewable energy in tropical islands by hearing really local perspectives. This time I'm joined by a PhD in ocean physics, Roberto Valente de Souza from Brazil. This is, of course, not an island, but it does have Fernando de Noronha, and a volcanic archipelago about 350 kilometers off of Brazil's northeast coast, which is really lacking in clean electricity solutions. Roberto holds a bachelor's degree in physics and ocean and atmosphere physics, a master's degree in computational modeling, and a PhD in physical, chemical, and geological oceanography. He is currently a postdoctoral researcher at COPPE, the Alberto Luis Colombra Institute for Graduate Studies and Engineering Research at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, working in naval and oceanic engineering at the Waves and Current Laboratory, LOC. Roberto has experience in the areas of physics, and as a researcher, he focuses on ocean and atmosphere physics, computer languages, numerical modeling applied to fluid physics, geophysical energy, cascades, and renewable energy from the sea. His main area of research is ocean thermal energy conversion. 20 years of academic life dedicated to this subject, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and postdoctorate degrees in the application of this technology and its feasibility as alternatives in the Brazilian Blue Amazon. So, welcome to Island Voices, Roberto. Perhaps as a start, it would be great to hear an introduction from yourself and a bit of your background.
First of all, I have to say thank you, Dan, for the invitation. And all you say about me is the truly represent myself is a research of OTEC field. And I really appreciate your invitation to talk about this field. When I talk my background, I really have to represent where I find my inspiration to choose this area of research in my story of professional story and my human story related of OTEC. I came from the south of Brazil, the states of Rio Grande do Sul, and I, because my family influences, we always came to have vacation in the city of Rio Grande. It has the beach of called Cassino. Is the most standard beaches on Brazil. We have 200 kilometers of ocean coast to the people came because that I have a lot of fascination with the sea, because the sea represents in my family joy and good energy and happiness. Because that when I came to age we capable to choose my profession, I choose to came this city to do my academic life, and I choose the universe focus and the ecosystems. We call here coastal ecosystems like Petrus Lagoon, we closed of city of Rio Grande, and the other and understanding the ocean. This universe called Federal Foundation of Rio Grande is a city close where I born, at the city of Pelotas. Because that's I choose to make my first degree in this universe. My first degree is the ocean and atmosphere physics. But when I have the necessity of work and sustain myself to my choices of living, I made the academic way, my academic degree, to have possible to make classes of physics. After that, I came to the universe and read the first important literary work of my career. in Brazil, we say that is the start point of research. When we read something, we really have shine in your brain about something. I read a book in Brazil. In Portuguese, we say usos do mar. In English, uses of sea. It's the same relation of power of sea of Ansoval put in report. But in Brazil, his book is made by the Admiral Paulo Castro Moreira Silva, who has the patron of the physical oceanography in the Brazilian Navy. This book represents the first application of OTEC in Brazil. In the 70s, we used the upwelling natural history process in the coast of Rio de Janeiro to make a short application of OTEC to make low cost ice for the fishermen of the region. Because that, we start the first application since Claude put Miniotech in the coast of Rio de Janeiro, but we lose our CWP. But the Admiral is the first Brazilian to apply OTEC in Brazilian. When I read this book, when I course the physics, I read the book and think, I have two things I really like: physics and thermodynamics. And I think this is the main area of my life. I study this a lot. When I read and see how OTEC is made and the universe possibilities OTEC uh, try to explain that, I see that we have physics, oceanography, biology, we have engineering, we have a lot of areas integrate in one concept, because that I choose my research and do all my academic life, degrees, masters, doctor, postdoctoral, research, other projects, only focus in OTEC, because that my background is this book, and the history of Brazilian OTEC was the first literary reference I have, because this reference, because that I say one book can change your life. This book changed my life and make my first step of trajectory of in OTEC.
I really didn't know or appreciate about that history. We hear so much about Hawaii and Japan being the focal points of OTEC development, but you're right. In Brazil, in Nauru, there are these other places outside of just Japan and Hawaii that have such rich OTEC history. So I guess it's very appropriate for the 10th OTEC symposium to have taken place in Rio back in December 2024, and you presented a paper there, which was, I believe it was the Brazilian Ocean Thermal Energy Park and the feasibility of thermal energy conversion in the Blue Amazon. Could you give our listeners just a couple of minutes summary of this paper?
Well, it's a great pleasure present my work in OTEA and knowledge people like Karina and you contact myself after this conference, and I have to say this work is not publishing, but we publish in the scientific journal of ocean engineering and marine energy in the middle of this year. But we have the difficulty to summarize a research with large aspects, and when we have the same enthusiasm as I have about talking OTEC, when we're talking about the thermal energy park, we have a lot of aspects and a lot of information and a lot of data to analyze, and this works represent a part of this research. I say in my background, I have 20 years of research, and every paper and every research is a part of this research. But we have summarized, we have to say, Brazilian is have some difficulties because we don't have a large sensors and large stations. We don't have a large area of data, ocean data, to make possible triangular position and make mapping of resource with real data, because that at this point of the evolution of the science, we have the source of the numerical models to make sure and represent real good with 900% of sorry uh, 19% of represently when real data in relation of numeric data, we can represent the ocean very well with global numeric models, because that use this information and use my information to make these models to represent the variability of the Brazilian Ocean. When I talk with Brazilian Ocean, we have laws of sea representing the regions we call the sovereignty regions of the countries. In terms of Brazilian, we have 200 miles of the ocean. We have represented the ocean territory of Brazil. We call this territory in Brazil the Blue Amazon. Né? Because we represent large of uh, sources and biological life and a lot of things to Brazilian people. And for doing this analysis, we don't use a large information of sensors, but use sensors to calibrate these models with bathymetry, ocean floor, line coasts, all of that. The Navy of Brazil have mapping, and with points of ocean data, we calibrate these models to generate this information to make possible see the variability of these properties we want to represent, to obtain this variability of the thermal difference, the salinity, the pressure, the density, to make possible represent the variation of these properties. We are high important to OTEC to make possible um, make numerical experiments and apply theoric plans in the real data ocean, because that we capable to see how this thermal resource have feasibility in the Brazilian Ocean. With that, we can define the high potential areas, the offshore areas, the onshore areas, the islands, the atolls, how these thermal contents have the variability in these places. With this information, we can talk about something we call in engineering 100% factor capacity. What I saying the OTEC need to operate 5 days of week, all entire year of operation, because that when we talk about the Fernando de Noronha, we need this. We need the people have energy all days of the year, because that OTEC operate all days of year, 5 days a week, 3 days of month and a specific month. But with this information, I call Brazilian Ocean Thermal Park the regions we have 100% operation, and other informations are very important for OTEC applications, like how deep is necessity of CWP operate. We need to put 100 meters, 800 meters, 700, 600 meters. In Brazilian Blue Amazon, have regions we can operate in 600 meters entire year to obtain 20 degrees of mean difference for the application of OTEC. We have capable to apply OTEC in Fernando de Noronha with 600 meters of CWP. Né? Because this study, I can prove the variation of these thermal fields. We can operate all entire year with these characteristics. In other possibilities, we identify the possibilities of using, we call in OTEC area, the down, deep ocean water resources. Né? What I say to you, because I mapping the water masses in the Brazilian region, I have to information about the physics, the chemical process, the biological process of these masses, because thus I can see what's the protein, the vegetable, what the nutrients we have in this water, what minerals we have in this water. And this information is very important to the next steps we want
Yeah.
to make in the Brazilian Blue Amazon.
I always like.
This represent a part of this work.
Yes. Well, I always like to the three different tiers of the resource. It starts with the theoretical resource, the technical resource, and the practical resource. And you're qualifying both theoretical and to some extent technical by looking at the Met Ocean, bathymetry, geotechnical, all of that, all the lovely data points that you have. But for somewhere like Fernando de Noronha, which many people here are probably hearing about for the very first time. Can you share a bit more about what their challenges are? You know, why is OTEC being considered here? Is this an island which nobody lives on? Is it a resort paradise, a natural haven? Tell us about what's happening above the water.
What I have to say, something you have to say, is a paradise, Brazilian paradise island. When you see this island, you think about the first thing when you think about the island. Your eyes don't have to see nothing about the island. When you're talking about Brazilian is a great exploration of renewable resources. But when you're talking about the continental way, we have other possibilities like
Hydro.
hydro, wind energy, solar energy. We have other renewable energies are capable to operate in Brazilian. Yeah, and we have strong in that, in this renewable energy techniques. But when you talk about an island in a really distance offshore of continents, when you're talking about a paradise, we don't put these techniques of continental and in islands. First, because the wind energy is not able to operate all entire year, because that you have space times when the people don't have energy with the put only depends of the wind energy. Hydro energy, we have courses of water in the island, but have the capacity and the source to be a large energy resource, because that we think, and the other possibilities of the renewable energies of sea. We can think about the tide. We can think about the currents. We can think about the other. But these these resources need to be in your vision, in your sea, and have a necessity of put structures and large structures. OTEC can be able to operate in small places and
Yes.
have to your great part of the technology is underwater, because that we the OTEC is for the island is the most applicable renewable resource. But we have other possibilities. I have to say about Fernando de Noronha. Fernando de Noronha operate at these days with capacity of the 5.5 megawatts of operation.
What is that
Uh,
powered by today?
Entire island is able to run with this energy. We have 100 kilowatts of the desalination plant to the people have drinking water, and 5 megawatts to operate the entire island of function depends of energy. I have to say this is totally with our scale of engineering at this time we're capable to do that. With our scale we are capable to do the diameter of CWP for this application. We are able to run a system of in open cycle to do desalination. We are able to run this package in our entire year, most of 5 mega to this island, and we are able to apply with this OTEC other possibilities, and we're talking about that. We have large days talking about the possibilities of the products of OTEC, but only resolve the problem has a paradise running with renewable energy and have little impact is an incredible thing in my vision.
I couldn't agree more, and I think the idea of being able to go to a paradise island which is entirely powered by the ocean. Your drinking water has been desalinated by the ocean. Your prawns, your food has been grown by deep ocean water. This is my dream, and one of the reasons that I started Global OTEC. But just moving away from Fernando de Noronha at the moment, what other industries do you see the application for OTEC for in Brazil? Because noting the vast amount of resources that are on the continent, and really Fernando de Noronha being just one island of 5.5 megawatts, many hundreds of kilometers away. In that space between, where do you see opportunities of other industries to use OTEC?
I have to say, I published a work for in 2020 related to my PhD formation, and I in this work I simulate a plant with 100 megawatts operating in this area I call the Brazilian Thermal Energy Park. And I have to say, we have a studies about the impact of the dynamics impact of presenting OTEC in the ocean. And I estimate this calculation and put all the capacity of the Blue Amazon operating the system. And in we are able with this if now not the total capacity of the Blue Amazon operating OTEC with 100 mega to put all energy of northern region of Brazil.
So just checking, I follow that. The Blue Amazon is your exclusive economic zone. All of that Brazilian ocean is the Blue Amazon, and you're saying that by utilizing the kind of north and northeastern parts of that, you could provide all of the power that Brazil requires.
I have provided all the power of the northeast region of Brazil, representing a large part of matrix of Brazil, of energy matrix of Brazil. More representatively, a large wind energy, and in the same scale of hydro energy in Brazilian matrix. Because that I think this we have other possibilities of OTEC. Like I said, we have a northern region of Brazil with a region we with the sun are too hot. We have poor people in this region. We using OTEC, we can provide drinking water and food and other possibilities. A chain of possibilities with the orcs in association of this expansion of this technology. I think a lot about this region because this region has the highest content of thermal energy in coast of Brazil. because that we can provide energy for the people living in this place, provide water, provide, and in this region we have the shortened portion of the internal shelf of Brazil. What I mean the close offshore distance in the coastal.
Yeah.
You put lines distributing this energy, we can provide this energy to these people in the country. Is very important, strategic point for this type of question you made to me. I think about that.
Excellent. So we announced at the I think it was the first um, geothermal workshop organized by Petrobras last year. We announced our OTEC power module, and we're really starting to see the opportunity which deep water operators in the oil and gas space and how they can work and leverage OTEC as well to be able to accelerate its development. Is that something you have a view on or an opinion on a collaboration with an entity such as Petrobras to advance OPEC development?
I think the Petrobras has the operation in Blue Amazon and extraction of petrol and oil and gas, and we have a complex knowledge about the operation in offshore,
Mm.
and have larger platforms in the Brazilian Blue Amazon. Because that we have a changing areas, we have changing oil fields, because we operate, we came to devastate this, the not the correct word, sorry, we use a whole of package of the oil at this reservatory, but now we don't have to extraction no more, but the oil field, the platform, not change the place, stay here. In these platforms, we can operate a system OTEC, a large OTEC plant, and we can associate these operations and these dynamics of operation of oil companies to make sure that when we don't use for oil and gas no more, we can use this for OTEC. And the other possibilities, we can use the OTEC products to associate with the oil platforms, to use some products of the OTEC to help the operation, because at this point we don't have fight with nobody. We have to pick all the help we can get to put OTEC in the future, in the near future. The fossil fuel is not our enemy at this point. We make part of this transition, we make part of this industry, and renewable energy has the step we have to make, but the oil companies have part of the steps and the other steps we made, because that I think we need to a symbiotical way to have relation with these companies to make the future with this transition, because at this point we have this transition, we having this transition, we not the operation of all renewable source. In the future we're capable to do that, but at this point we need to operate with this company to make the OTEC win the greater places, and in the future more strongly capable to do things I believe OTEC are able to do.
Yeah, I strongly believe that partnerships are one of the fastest routes to success. And it's interesting you use that point about retrofitting old offshore oil and gas assets for new technologies, for innovation, particularly OTEC. I was just speaking to a gentleman in Louisiana by the name of Kent Satterley, and he's the executive director of the Gulf Offshore Research Institute, the GORI, and something that they're looking at in the Gulf of Mexico or America, depending who you listen to at the moment. So yeah, it's a very very big opportunity. Well, look, Roberto, thank you so much for your time today. It's always great to have this kind of open space to hear random voices like yours. And for those who are watching, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, check out the previous videos of this series, and we'll see you for the next update. Thank you very much. Bye.